many occupations in this world and gourmet is one of them. Gourmets are often born sensitive to taste, and their ability to discern flavors far exceeds ordinary humans. Their cultivation may not necessarily be high, but there are some hotels or taverns that would hire them at high salaries so as to ascertain the taste and effects of their ingredients. However, this occupation is one of the least esteemed ones, and can only be considered one of the lower 9 paths. There are more than several thousands of occupations in the world. To better classify them, they are split into the upper 9 paths, middle 9 paths and lower 9 paths. Apothecary, blacksmith, formation master and similar jobs which brings about benefits to battle techniques and one's cultivation are considered as the conventional upper 9 paths. On the other hand, gourmet could only be considered as an unorthodox occupation, thus being classified under the lower 9 paths. Going by Shen Bairu's opinion, given how the young man is capable of pointing out the flaws in those dishes and wine, he had to be a gourmet. You can take it so. Zhang Xuan doesn't explain. The Library of Heaven's path does more than reflecting one's cultivation. As long as he has tried a dish, its flaws would be reflected in the library. With this, it is a simple task for him to take care of a small manager Wu. Thank you for your help today. Seeing the other party admit to it, Shen Bairu thanks him. If it wasn't for this young man's ability to discern delicacies, it would be truly embarrassing for her today. It's nothing. Zhang Xuan waves his hand. You resolved the problem just a moment ago, so it can't be considered as my treat. I'll treat you again next time. Shen Bairu says. Treat me again? Zhang Xuan ponders over it and shakes his head. Better not, I still treasure my life. Eating with a beauty may be an enjoyable event, but he knows himself the best. Given his reputation, the other party might simply be speaking out of politeness despite being repulsed by the idea. Not only so, he would have to suffer from the envy of others. If so, he would have to come up with ideas to deal with her pursuers. However, there are still many things that he needs to do at the moment and he doesn't have the leisure for such matters. Just when she thought that Zhang Xuan could speak normally, she hears those words, and feels a blockade in her chest again as the urge to go berserk surges through her. Many people had asked her out to eat, but she rejected them all. Yet, when she takes the initiative to invite him, she feels as though she is begging a stubborn elderly. Detestable. All right, since we have already eaten, if there's nothing else, I'll be making a move first. I still have many things to attend to. Oblivious to her rage, he waves and prepares to take his leave. Wait, I'm not done yet. Suppressing her anger, Shen Bairu calms down her breathing, and looks at him with her beautiful eyes. You might have resolved that difficulty in my stead today, and your occupation as a gourmet played a huge role in it, but in the end, it is still an unorthodox occupation. After all, a fighter should focus on his training. Fighters, upon cultivating to a certain realm, are able to survive without ingesting food, so delicacies do not have much use. Even if he is able to profit out of the occupation for now, it still isn't a proper path a fighter should be treading on. After interacting with him, she could tell that Zhang Xuan isn't as useless as the rumors make him out to be. It could be possible that he had devoted his efforts to studying food, that's why his teacher qualification examination results ended up horrendous. Upon such thoughts, despite her overwhelming anger, she couldn't resist advising him. All right. Knowing that she said those words out of goodwill, Zhang Xuan nods his head. Just as he is about to leave, rapid footsteps sound out from his back. Zhang Xuan, let's see where you can escape to today. Today, don't even dream about getting away. Following which, a resentful voice echoes in the surroundings. 2 men and 1 beast block his path. They are Shang and Cao Xiong. At this moment, the 2 of them have a giant footprint imprinted on their face, the outlines of it clear to see. Half of their face are swollen red, and blood trickles down by edges of their mouth. Not a single hint of their previous dashing and carefree look remain. This is especially so for Shangbin. His injuries from the morning have yet to recover, and yet he suffered another violent kick. At this instant, his mouth is crooked to the side and his lips look like two giant sausages, thus pulling him further away from the concept of handsomeness. He had planned everything out perfectly so as to look cool in front of his goddess. Who knew that not only would he fail, he even got beaten up to such a state, and his connection with Hongtian Pavilion was severed as a result. If things go wrong, he might even be chastised by his grandfather. How could he take this humiliation lying? The more he thinks about it, the angrier he gets. Thus, he charges up directly towards Zhang Xuan. "Shangbin, what do you intend to do?" Shen Bairu didn't expect him to come in pursuit to cause trouble. She steps in front of Zhang Xuan to shield him from Shangbin. "Shen Laoshi, don't block my way. This is a personal grudge between Zhang Xuan and me. It is one thing if he doesn't see her, but when he sees her shielding the infamous trash of the academy, Shangbin is further provoked as his eyes slant to the sides and his mouth crooks further from the overwhelming rage. The intense envy clouding his mind makes him frenzied. He stares coldly at that young man and shouts, "Zhang Xuan, are you a man? If you're one, stop hiding behind a woman and have a fair duel to the death with me." Seeing how the fellow before him has lost his rationality, Zhang Xuan widens his eyes and says, "So what if I'm hiding behind a woman? This is a part of my capabilities. If you're capable, find one to hide behind as well." Yu Shangbin almost vomits blood. As long as it is a man, if someone insults him by saying that he is gutless and hides behind the protection of a woman, won't they feel embarrassed and humiliated such that they would rush forward to retaliate out of indignation? Why does common sense not apply to this fellow? How can he speak of something that should have been incomparably sinful so naturally and righteously? How can one be so thick-skinned? "Shen Laoshi, I'll be leaving these two for you to deal with. I still have something on, so I'll be taking my leave first." As a transcender, what has he never seen before? Thick-skinned? What a joke. In his previous life, in the information era, have you seen anyone who isn't shameless? He can't be bothered to deal with a problem which someone had taken the initiative to resolve for him. This isn't fear. Rather, it isn't a good time for him to be revealing his level of cultivation. On top of that, the Shangbin's grandfather is an elder. If he were to be forced to a corner, Zhang Xuan would have to waste precious time dealing with the problems that will ensue. Since someone is shielding him, he is also happy to be spared the effort. Seeing how shameless the young man is, Shen Bairu is also at a loss for words. Just a moment ago, she was still fearful that he would be provoked by Shangbin's taunt and duel with him. Now, it does seem that she was overthinking it. If this fellow could be provoked, even so's would be able to climb trees. "Zhang Xuan, hold it there. If I can't kill you today, I won't be called Shangbin." Seeing the attitude of the young man, Shangbin becomes even more enraged. Veins pop out from his temples and his face turns a shade of green. Seeing that Shen Bairu has no intention of letting him through, he roars, "Sky-shattering lion, kill him! As long as you do it, I will bring you delicacies every day. Furthermore, I will give you the coup-point soothing pill that my grandfather promised me." As a Tier 6 savage beast that has been tamed by a human, the sky-shattering lion is capable of comprehending human words. As his grandfather's pet, as long as Shangbin is kept out of harm's way, it couldn't be bothered with his orders. In order to get it to make a move, he promised all kinds of benefits to him in an instant. Roar! Indeed, hearing his promises, the eyes of the sky-shattering lion light up. Savage beasts who have reached pig's realm, unlike humans, are unable to use the flow of zhenqi to break open their acupoints. They can only rely on the growth of their body to gradually pull up their strength. If it were to consume the acupoint soothing pill at this moment, with its effects, its strength would surely soar significantly. Acupoint soothing pill is a pill made specially for fighter 6 dan experts. It possesses the effect of soothing one's acupoints, thus allowing one to progress further in Pig's realm. At this moment, Shangbin's strength has already reached fighter 5 dan dingli pinnacle, just a step off from Pig's. Thus, Elder Shang Chen spent a huge sum to obtain this medicine so as to give him a boost. Initially, Shangbin was reluctant to take it out. However, upon recalling how he was humiliated by a trash, he finds himself unable to suppress his emotions. If he doesn't get rid of Zhang Xuan today, he fears that he would be unable to uphold his dignity in the academy anymore. This is especially so for the goddess before him. She probably wouldn't even spare him a gaze. How can he tolerate such a situation? Shangbin, what do you intend to do? Killing a colleague in academy compounds is a huge crime. She didn't expect Shangbin to be so insane to order the sky-shattering lion to make the move. Shen Bairu's eyes narrow. She wants to rush forward to protect Zhang Xuan, but is blocked by Shangbin instead. Panicking, she bellows at him. In the compounds, teachers are forbidden from killing one another. To do so is an infringement of the school rules, as well as a severe crime. Zhang Xuan was the one who wanted to kill me. To protect me, the sky-shattering lion retaliated. What I did was legitimate self-defense. What can the others say about it? Shangbin's eyes turn red from insanity. He roars, "Sky-shattering lion, what are you hesitating for? Do it." Yu Shenbairu feels her heart turning cold. Too shameless. If he were to really use that as a front, with Elder Shang Chen's interference within the matter, he might really get away with it. In fact, it is possible for him to escape punishment completely. Zhang Xuan could very well die here. After all, it is a tier 6 savage beast. Ordinary Pig's realm experts aren't even its match. How can one who is the last in the teacher qualification examination withstand it? Roar! Just when she is still in a fluster, the sky-shattering lion roars and dashes over. Before coming into contact with it, its powerful aura creates a powerful gale that forces the surrounding grass and tree leaves to bow down to it. Zhang Xuan. Shen Bairu tried to break through Shangbin's blockade to save him, but she was knocked back consecutive times. Shangbin's cultivation is on the same level as her. He might be spoiled due to his powerful backing, but his strength isn't false. Even if she possesses the strength to defeat him, she is still unable to break through his blockade within a short period of time, especially if he chooses to execute only defensive maneuvers. I am the one who brought harm to you. Seeing how she is unable to save him, Shen Bairu is filled with guilt. She thinks that the reason why Shangbin is dealing with this fellow, who was the last for the teacher qualification examination, is because of her. Otherwise, as someone of such high standing and the grandson of an elder, towards an infamous trash, who has no background whatsoever, when there's no connection between the two, why would there be a grudge between them? Yet, after pulling him down into the mud, she is unable to save him. The guilt she is experiencing at the moment torments her painfully. Why is there no movements? Could it be that Zhang Xuan has already died? The more panicked she gets, the more incapable she is of breaking through Shangbin's blockade. With Shangbin blocking her sight, she is unable to view the situation over at Zhang Xuan's side. She can only hear complete silence in the surroundings, as though he didn't even struggle against the assault of the sky-shattering lion. There can only be one possibility. Before Zhang Xuan could retaliate, he was already smacked to death by the sky-shattering lion. After all, even she is unable to withstand a single blow from the tier 6 savage beast, who is equivalent to a Pig's realm expert. He is already dead. It is too late for you to make a move now. Hearing that there is no movements behind him, Shangbin's eyes light up. He knows that the trash would definitely be unable to withstand a single blow from the sky-shattering lion. He laughs heartily out of excitement. Judging that there is no need to block Shen Bairu any longer, he leaps aside. Zhang Xuan. The moment Shangbin leaps away, Shen Bairu doesn't waste time on him and hurriedly rushes forward. Just when she thought she would see a pool of fresh blood with a miserable corpse lying in the center of it, her slim figure suddenly freezes and she stares in a daze. This. What happened? Initially, Shangbin thought that his goddess would burst into tears from the shock of the sight. However, upon seeing such an expression hang on her face, Shangbin quickly turns around to take a look. With a single glimpse, his eyeballs widen into huge circles and he almost faints from overwhelming astonishment. He sees the incomparably ferocious sky-shattering lion, which had rushed towards Zhang Xuan earlier, to rip him into numerous shreds before, lying in front of Zhang Xuan like a pug, licking his hands. Zhang Xuan's other hand is stroking the head and ears of the sky-shattering lion and unspeakable pleasure appears on its face. The heck? What happened? Shangbin is on the verge of tears. This sky-shattering lion is his grandfather's beast pet and it is extremely proud. Even for Shangbin himself, just a simple touch would incur its fury, not to mention stroking its head. After taking possession of it from his grandfather, he had spent half a day of effort on it, feeding it numerous delicacies. Yet, this fellow doesn't even show the slightest bit of gratitude, disregarding his presence as he pleases. Such a proud fellow became a pug before Zhang Xuan? You are here to kill him. To be lying before him and licking his palm, is this really all right? Shangbin feels a dizziness spell working up, and he is on the verge of going crazy. Sky-shattering lion, what are you doing? Quickly kill him! He bellows. The sky-shattering lion doesn't move. It continues to lazy around, allowing Zhang Xuan stroke his head freely. You! Quickly kill him! If you do it, I will buy you anything you want to eat from now on. Shangbin roars anxiously. So noisy, make him shut up. Zhang Xuan, who was stroking the sky-shattering lion, stands up and waves his hand. Roar! The sky-shattering lion stands up as well and glares at Shangbin savagely. What are you planning to do? Frightened, Shangbin immediately retreats several steps. However, before he could get far, the sky-shattering lion dashes forward and takes a sweep at him lightly with its paws. Pang! Before Shangbin could react, he is sent flying backward like a kite that had its string snapped. His head knocks onto a giant tree and crimson blood fills his entire face. What exactly happened? You are my grandfather's beast pet. Shangbin cries. This sky-shattering lion is the beast pet that his grandfather passed on to him to protect him. Logically, it should have listened to his words to deal with the outsider. Why did it listen to the words of an outsider to attack him? Pang! Before he could finish crying, another figure crashes onto the ground in front of him. He is Cao Xiong. When that fellow noticed the situation turning awry, he immediately turned around to flee. However, how could he possibly escape from the sky-shattering lion, a tier 6 savage beast? He is sent flying back with a slap. Roar! After sending these two flying, the sky-shattering lion looks as though it has done something glorious. It walks over to Zhang Xuan with a flattering look, as though wanting to be acknowledged for its accomplishment. Not bad. You did well. Zhang Xuan pats its head. Roar! The sky-shattering lion nods its head quickly. It walks gallantly to the two lying on the floor, keeping a watch on them with a proud look, reminiscent of a responsible watchdog. Shangbin and Cao Xiong, who were planning to escape, are on the verge of tears. Zhang Xuan. You! How did you do that? Spectating the entire flow of events by the side, the dumbstruck Shen Bairu finally recovers and gazes at him curiously. How did I do it? Zhang Xuan scratches his head. This sky-shattering line is very easy to communicate with. Perhaps it might be because I am more handsome. Handsome? Shen Bairu blinks and her slim figure staggers. The sky-shattering lion is a savage beast. To it, the term handsome should only be applicable to male sky-shattering lions, so what do you being handsome, or not have to do with it? Besides, if one must talk about handsomeness, Shangbin is much more dashing than you. All right. Farewell. Zhang Xuan doesn't continue explaining and turns around to leave. Since the Library of Heaven's path can peer into the weaknesses of a human, naturally, it would be able to peer into those of the sky-shattering lion as well. This fellow may seem extremely powerful, but in actuality, it has sustained quite a few hidden traumas. Otherwise, it couldn't have possibly willingly served as Elder Shang Chen's beast pet. The library has detected this flaw of it. Making use of it, Zhang Xuan casually solved some of the easier ones for it. As a result, the sky-shattering lion chooses to obey his commands obediently without the slightest hesitation. In comparison to Shangbin's promise, no amount of delicious food and pills can compare with a resolved hidden trauma. Of course, this involves his secret as well, so he can't possibly reveal the truth to Shen Bairu. You don't go. You haven't explained the reason why the sky-shattering lion obeyed to your commands. Seeing him leave, Shen Bairu quickly catches up. The more she comes into contact with this young man, the more formidable she finds him to be. He is a mystery that is becoming more and more difficult to comprehend. Being able to read so many books just by flipping through them, intentionally scoring a 0 in the teacher qualification examinations despite knowing the answers, realizing his identity as a gourmet through a meal and convincing a tier 6 savage beast to follow his commands easily. What that seems impossible in the eyes of others is accomplished so simply by this young man, leaving others staring in disbelief. How does he accomplish all these? Shen Bairu is becoming more and more curious about this young man before her. Big sister. Oblivious to what she is thinking of, upon seeing her chasing him, Zhang Xuan halts his footsteps and says helplessly, I want to live a long life. I'm afraid that I might not live to the next day being beside you. Just spare me. Big sister? You are the big sister. Your entire family is big sisters. Shen Bairu's face turns bright red. She is a beauty. She might be slightly older than Zhang Xuan, but she looks no different from a 17 or 18-year-old. Yet, this fellow addressed her as a big sister, thus causing her to go into a frenzy. Fine, I am the big sister. So, just let me leave. Zhang Xuan shakes his head in frustration. PFT. Upon hearing Zhang Xuan claim that he is the big sister, Shen Bairu chuckles and says, Fine, you can leave. I will look for you tomorrow.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you